I mean, that just messes with your head, right? Felt like I was watching something that I wasn't really meant to be seeing. Hi everyone! Hello lovelies, welcome to another episode of Fabaret. My name's Richard, and if you're new here, a big warm welcome to you. Fabaret is all about theatre, music, dance, so if that's your kind of scene, then hit that subscribe button and let's be theatre geeks together. Yay! So today, shock horror everybody, I have watched a play. That's a play, no music, no jazz hands. Yeah, because apparently people can talk about their feelings in shows, they don't have to sing about it. Who knew, right? So today, I've watched The Picture of Dorian Gray. Now, The Picture of Dorian Gray is an Oscar Wilde novel, and there's been many adaptations of it over the years, but this one is very unique. Now, this is available to watch online until Wednesday the 31st of March. I will put a link in the bottom. There is an age guidance of 16 plus on the show. This review is fine for everybody, and I will make sure that I don't put any spoilers in as well. So The Picture of Dorian Gray has been a collaboration between 5 different theatres. We've got Barn Theatre, Lawrence Batley Theatre, New Wolseley Theatre, Oxford Playhouse, and Theatre Clwyd? I'm a quarter Welsh as well, so I really should know how to say that, sorry. So yes, I do love musicals, but the odd play does sneak through, and I've always found the concept of eternal youth a very interesting subject. One of my favourite films of all time is Death Becomes Her, which stars Meryl Streep, Bruce Willis, Goldie Hawn. The special effects in it alone are fantastic, but I always wondered to myself, what would I do if I was in that situation? If someone gave me the option to be young and beautiful and perfect forever, would I take it? Now I have to admit, I'd never heard of the story of Dorian Gray until the 2009 film adaptation came out. That starred Ben Barnes in the title role of Dorian Gray and Colin Firth as Lord Henry Wotton. So I saw this being advertised and I thought it was such a clever concept, because you might think a story as old as Dorian Gray might not be relevant for today, but actually the story is still relevant today because people still want to look perfect and beautiful, but just more in an online world. Even me now, just sitting here, I've put lights in particular places, I've set the camera up in a nice angle, I've done everything that I can in this video to make sure I present my best version of myself to you. Now the cast in this as well was really exciting for me. First of all, you've got the legend that is Stephen Fry. I mean, it's Stephen Fry, he's just a legend. Then we have the divine Joanna Lumley, who I've worshipped for many years as Patsy in Absolutely Fabulous. We've got Alfred Enoch, who I spent ages thinking, where have I seen him before? And I realised the Harry Potter films.
Look, Neville's got a remembrall.
And Russell Tovey, who I know has got so many amazing theatre shows linked to his name, but most recently I've binge watched him on The Job Lot on Netflix. I have to admit, the actors playing Sybil and Dorian, Fionn Whitehead and Emma McDonald, I didn't really know who they were going in to watch this, but I guess that helps to make it more realistic for me. Right, well let's get on with this review then. I've got notes, I took like 10 pages of notes whilst watching this. So they have set this in modern day, as in right now whilst we're in the midst of all the lockdown craziness going on. I knew this was going to be set more in modern times because the idea of Dorian Gray having more digital perfect image for selfies and things like that. But it never occurred to me they would set it right up to date to include lockdown references. They reference particular events that have happened in the last 12 months, like theatres closing and the National Theatre live streams online. And there's a face mask right in the opening shot. And I guess it makes sense for them to do that because the online world and the theatre world have blended more together over the past 12 months than ever before. And this whole concept of this piece is based around people's online image of how others perceive them. Oh, and just to clarify, it's not like a stage play that they filmed, this is an actual film. And they've gone along the lines of these events have already happened, but they're interviewing the characters who have survived to get their take on it. Like one of those behind the scenes documentaries once a famous actor or musician has died. Very quickly I noticed, and it was quite amusing, they were mimicking how much people are dependent now on being online to be able to understand their own identity. And not just with younger generations as well, the elder generation. So Joanna Lumley's character references paying a couple of £100 online, and she did that so she could find out her family heritage and whether she had any nobility. The interviews they were doing were over laptops, so like Zoom kind of thing. And that was bizarre because it was really weird seeing actors performing to screens and to laptops, and then us as an audience watching that. They turned Dorian Gray into a university English student, and Dorian makes a little Avenue Q reference.
What do you do with a BA in English? Just a little musical theatre joke for you there.
Over the past year, lots of students have had to isolate and have been in very unique situations with their education, so that just took it to a whole nother level of relevance. And I didn't think it would be so bizarre watching this because, of course, none of us have really seen any live theatre over the past year. So now to be at the point where I'm watching online theatre, which is referencing things that have been happening to me whilst I've been in lockdown watching other online theatre, that was really weird, but it just helped to add to the whole surreal feeling of the story. Now, just for a bit of clarity, in the original novel, Basil is the painter who paints Dorian's picture. Dorian makes a very dark deal where he will be perfect, but his painting will age instead. Now, in this version, it's Basil who actually offers Dorian the potential for online perfect images. It's Dorian's birthday, and you see Dorian and Basil having a text conversation where Dorian's asking Basil, "Oh, what's my birthday present?" And he says to Basil, "Please don't let it be a picture." And I thought that's a funny little reference to the original writing. So Basil offers Dorian this new filter called New Leaf, and it will make Dorian look perfect in any photo or video that he does online, regardless of what happens to him in the real world. Now, the whole piece was great, but I have to admit, that particular scene did feel like it dragged on a bit for me. Like, yes, it is a key point in the story, but I just felt it could have been shorter, sharper, and harsher. But then later on, there are scenes that feel really rushed. There's characters who are showing their videos off on Instagram and Facebook, and then different characters at the same time having a phone conversation with each other. And I was just like, whoa, where was my attention meant to be? So that did get me confused, but then looking back, I wonder if that was their intention, so that I kind of get more confused and lost in the whole era of the piece. There were so many subtle sentences that I picked up on in the characters' dialogue where you could tell that Dorian's descent was already starting, but it was so subtle, it was brilliant. So there's a part where Dorian gets a bit annoyed because Sybil's got more likes on a video than he has. Just showed how early on these dark thoughts were already taking over him.
Remember, you're only ever as good as your last pick.
There was a bit that made me feel very uncomfortable. So the character of Sybil herself is an actress, and she gets this amazing opportunity to do a Shakespeare monologue live on television around the world. And it's a big deal, it's with the Royal Shakespeare Company. Now, something bad happened, and I'm not going to tell you what it is because I don't want to spoil it. But like instantly, as soon as this bad thing happens, you start seeing memes and GIFs and... Is it GIFs or GIFs? I don't know. We'll go with GIF for now. So as soon as this bad thing happens to her, you start seeing memes and GIFs and mean comments coming up, and they're all about how people are finding her suffering entertaining. And that did make me feel uncomfortable, but I guess it was supposed to. And after Sybil's bad thing happens to her, there's a very interesting use of CCTV footage. Like, it felt like I was spying on their conversation. It felt like I was watching something that I wasn't really meant to be seeing. So it was something really real. It wasn't something that had been filtered and shared and uploaded. And then we go into a very tearful monologue by Sybil. She's talking to camera, as if she's talking into a laptop camera, something like that. And I won't reveal what happens, but Emma McDonald playing her, she's a very amazing actress. I mean, I can't believe she was acting like that to probably just a little black circle dot on a screen. It was amazing. So in the original story, Dorian starts to go mad because of the mistakes that he's impacted on others. But here he's going mad because of his own inner obsession for desire, for fame and followers. I thought that was a very interesting take on the story. The key difference with this new version is that the story timeline only takes place over 8 months. So it starts in July 2020 and it goes through to March 2021. And in the original novel, the timeline spans over 2 decades at least. Now, we've all gone a bit crazy at some points over lockdown, right? But Dorian's descent here is more in online rants, which get more and more dangerous as his followers increase, rather than him getting involved with murder as in the original novel. What was so clever is they linked everyone wearing face masks into Dorian's own personal paranoia of anyone seeing the real him when he goes outside, so that's why he wears a mask. And I thought that was very, very clever. So we get near to the end, Dorian's pretty much lost it at this point, and he's on like a video call with Basil, the chap who originally offered him this perfect new leaf filter. For me, I think the character of Basil represents what we all try to hide online. So when people post anonymous comments, or they use filters or cropping, and when he's confronted directly by Dorian with his questions, Basil just doesn't know how to react to it. And of course, what makes it so ironic is that Basil, at that same point, is not seeing the real Dorian, he's seeing the filtered perfect Dorian because they're on a video call. I mean, that just messes with your head, right? Some of the characters' ends in this are completely different to the original novel, but I think that's fair game because the adaptation of this is so unique. There was only a few tiny special effects used, but when they were used, they were very powerful. There was one quote that really got to me. Nowadays, people know the price of everything and the value of nothing. Wow, just think about that for a second. Another thing I noticed, they used Bible quotes, Shakespeare quotes, Roald Dahl quotes. And I thought that was really interesting because one thing you see online is people using other people's words or quotes to try and harness their own following and likes. I did question a bit about whether Joanna Lumley's character was really needed. Sorry Joanna, I do love you. As I was watching it more and more, I thought, oh, maybe this is to help give an audience perspective of what we might have thought reacting to these events as they unfolded. And she did give a sense of normality within the madness of everything going on. But overall, I didn't think her character needed to be focused on as much as it was. Sorry, Joanna, still love you. So overall, I would say yes, definitely go check this out. You can watch it online until Wednesday the 31st of March. I'll put the link below. It's just so interesting to think that a story that was written so long ago can still be relevant and even more relevant today. Well, lovelies, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what other online theatre you've been watching. And if you've got any recommendations, put them in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe. Do comment when you subscribed, I'll make sure to reply to you. And I'll see you next #Theatre Thursday. Mwah. Bye!